Trump tariffs are like Category 5 hurricanes because it's very harmful to firms and households by raising their cost of living, cost of production, both in the US and in other countries. At the same time, it's also very harmful to the functioning of the global trading system. But just like natural disasters, one can also prepare for it to mitigate its harmful effects. The retaliatory tariffs considered by other countries are not very attractive for two reasons. Number one, because most countries run a trade surplus against the US, meaning they export more than they import from the US, there's a narrower range of goods to choose retaliatory tariffs from relative to what US can do. That makes it less attractive. Number two, higher tariffs imposed by partner countries are also harmful to their own citizens and firms. For those reasons, retaliatory tariffs are not the ideal things to go for. If a country does not impose retaliatory tariffs, it has to look for non-tariff ways to respond to President Trump's tariff. In the case of China, because it has near monopoly over rare earth and some other mineral resources, it can choose to restrict exports of those resources to the US. That's more attractive than retaliatory tariffs because on the one hand, it raises cost of production to US firms. At the same time, it raises profit for those mineral exporting firms in China that make it more attractive than retaliatory tariffs. Other countries may also look for similar non-tariff tools. European Union is also looking into non-tariff response to the Trump tariffs. EU's anti-coercion clause says that EU can temporarily suspend protection of US intellectual property rights. For example, stop payment, royalty payment to Netflix, Microsoft, and other US companies that hold intellectual property rights. EU can also restrict market access by US investment banks, credit rating agencies, and other financial service firms. Because US is stronger in financial service sector than other countries, such restrictions tend to do more damage to US firms than to their own firms. President Trump's tariffs are also counterproductive from US point of view. Other countries' retaliatory measures clearly can hurt US exporting firms' profits. But higher US tariffs also means higher cost of living by American households, higher cost of production for US firms. On top of that, by undermining global trading system, it could eventually hurt US firms well because global trading rules are there to protect everyone. The Trump tariff can also affect world economy through an interest rate channel. Higher tariffs in the US tend to make goods prices higher than otherwise the case if US Federal Reserve chooses to do nothing. However, Federal Reserve is unlikely going to sit still. If Federal Reserve chooses to respond to that by raising interest rates, they could cause a global retrenchment of liquidities. And this could lead to a wave of bankruptcy for firms and governments that have higher dollar debt to start with. Even for countries without much dollar debt, if those countries' central bank choose to follow what Federal Reserve does, as they often do, this could lead to higher interest rate in those countries as well. Therefore, households and firms in those countries may also suffer due to this interest rate channel. Trump tariffs are harmful to US households, and many households have already started to notice that the prices of products coming from Canada, Mexico, and China are higher than before in grocery stores, in department stores. Once the 25% tariffs on Canadian and Mexican goods are in place, we'll see very clearly high prices of products coming from those places. In addition, even for products made in US, prices can also go up due to Trump tariff. That's because in today's world, American firms use globally sourced inputs right? So even for a product carries made in US label, the underlying inputs, parts and components could come from Canada, China, or some other countries. Therefore, the Trump tariff can also make production costs of those products to be higher, and households will sooner or later see these higher prices, higher cost of living from the Trump tariffs as well.